Okay, hi everyone. So this is my second video for the night, and I'm actually going to make it a short and quick one, especially because it's actually turning dark, and partially also because I don't think that I actually have prepared as much for this one. It's actually a random thought that I was contemplating over, and about the idea of religious or spiritual narcissist, and how this phenomena actually keeps on. I mean, it doesn't really keep on repeating in my life now, but how it actually can potentially affect you in your healing journey. And I think that most of us are used to thinking that narcissists are very how should I say, very brash, very mean, very yeah, just basically proud and arrogant people. And of course, that is one aspect of them. And we don't always associate narcissism with religious people. We think that just because someone is allegedly a very religious person, I mean, he or she can claim to be a Christian, devout Muslim, or whatever, Buddhist, or whatever religion that they believe in, or whatever spirituality. But just because they claim to be particularly religious or spiritual, it doesn't really mean that they cannot be narcissistic. For one, I think that I've experienced my fair share of very religious and narcissistic people. Yeah, it is a kind of contradiction in itself. You would think about it, they should be submitting to a higher authority like God or the gods, and then they should be like humbling themselves. But a lot of these religious narcissists don't exactly do that. The religious or spiritual side of them is actually a facade. So they could be talking about God or the gods or whatever spirituality that they believe in a lot in front of you. They could be doing good deeds. They could be preaching and at you, or pontificating at you. But behind all of that, they could be abusing you as well, or abusing other people. Yeah, I mean, we have heard about the case of that particular Australian uh, priest, yeah, the Roman Catholic priest who was being I can't remember his name now, but he was being tried and placed on trial, and the verdict was to actually put him in jail for 6 years for the abuse that he actually the sexual abuse that he actually placed the two youths, yeah, at least two youths, two men, two boys, through when they were very young boys. I mean, one of the victims actually ended up killing himself. I mean, it wasn't really intentional suicide, but from the overdose of drugs and alcohol to try numbing the pain that he had from the abuse over the years. That particular man died from the overdose of drugs and alcohol, and it's a really pretty sad thing. But the priest was placed in jail for supposedly was to be placed for 6 years in jail, according to the Australian system. But after just a few months, I mean, with all the appeals from the side that's on his defending him, there was a subsequent overturning of that verdict where yeah, I mean, this is a sad thing, but it's true. They claim that there wasn't enough evidence to claim that he actually had sexually abused the two boys from then. I mean, when you are talking about sexual predator, someone who has been causing the life and not the life, the death and possibly spiritual and emotional destruction of two or more innocent souls since young. I mean, it's very disappointing, but it does kind of it dawns on you that there are definitely religious narcissists around, and a lot of them actually end up putting on that front to abuse you. It's across the board of all religions, and a lot of times you might even discover that at the end of the day, they could be using that to do certain things like conducting sexual abuse, rape, and or even using their money. Like I mean, down here in Singapore, we had that case of a pastor who was actually using the funds of the church to actually finance his wife's uh, pop star career in LA. So yeah, I mean, but now the pastor just went to jail for a number of years, and all of a sudden, now that he's out, he's back again with his wife, and that church that he used to head is headed by his wife. I mean, the irony of ironies when you have narcissists who are actually heading a church, especially a mega church, at that misleading people. So the other thing that I noticed was that there was in another case, like with I mean when you have religious narcissists, it might not be actually surprising if you were to realize that a lot of them actually deny the validity of psychology or psychiatry. I actually had some alleged Christians who told me that such a thing like psychiatry and psychology are useless because they're not true. There's no basis for it, and then that they actually use that kind of a ground of attack, claiming that it's not biblical and it's of the devil. Therefore, and they actually gaslight you by flipping the whole thing around, saying that if you claim that they are very narcissistic, no, it's not because of the psychology behind it, or the psychiatry behind it, but because you are the real narcissist, according to them, and therefore you must be suffering from some disorder. But why are you using something like that to gaslight people and other people who actually question your behavior and your treatment of them, when you don't even claim to believe in psychology, and when you claim that psychology is from the devil? It doesn't make sense. So it's a very obvious giveaway that it's actually narcissism at its very core. These people, I mean, they keep on doing things like that, and they say that you're going to go to hell because you believe in psychology and use it to help other people. I'm very thankful that I haven't really come across such people anymore after I left that particular church years ago. Not just years ago, I think it was actually in 2005. 2005, the year 2005, I left that church because it was like it was crazy. I every time I went there, I had a feeling that I was being judged, and if it's not being judged, it was the feeling that I was actually being placed in a it's kind of like a metaphorical hell. Everyone was like judging me on the fact that because I believe in the validity of psychology, I was going to go to hell, and I probably would have been excommunicated by now. But although I don't think there's a statement in the church catechism of the creed that you will be excommunicated because you are you are training to be a psychologist or counselor. But there's this very strong hatred against mental health workers too, and it doesn't make sense. But okay, back to the idea of spiritual narcissism and how it actually hinders us in our healing journey. I think that a lot of times that I was talking in other videos about how it's important to actually for us to heal and to recover. But I think that a lot of us place our own worth and our own sense of our spiritual and emotional worth in other people and other things. I think it's no different with religion, and I'm not saying that it's wrong to believe in a religion, because if not, I wouldn't be calling myself a Christian. But at the same time, I think that it's very wrong-headed to think that you can place your so-called redemption or your salvation or even your own emotional healing in some higher human authority whom you might not actually know if he or she actually wants the best for you. And I think that it's very important to realize that in a recent study, I think it was quite a number of years, I think 2015 or 2016, or maybe actually it's not even just that, it was like way earlier or way later, way recent. It's I think 2018. there was this study of different churches, different pastors, yeah, in different churches in the American Council of Churches, and they found that actually a large percentage of the pastors, yeah, especially those in the yeah, they actually also surveyed some Canadian pastors too. They found that a lot of them actually suffered from narcissistic personality disorder, or some, or at least had some very severe narcissistic traits, where they were possibly manipulating or abusing others through the front of religion and the faith. So I don't really know about the other religions, but I don't really know how many how many past. I mean, it's a very small group of pastors who were being assessed in that sample study, probably around, I think, hundreds of thousand, yeah, hundreds of thousand, 1,000, but it's not a very big sample size, and considering the size of America, and I mean the number of churches and number of I mean in America and Canada, it would be pretty hard to just make a big sweeping statement and say that all pastors are like that or suffering from the disorder or MPD. But I think it's important to realize, based on that particular finding, that sometimes just because your religious leader claims to be a man of God, or a man of the gods, it doesn't necessarily always mean that they are really good people, or people with good intentions at the end of the day. So, and if we were to be arriving at, I mean, if we want to find redemption, ultimately, of course, it has to come from God. So yeah, so why are we giving unnecessary power to someone, to a human, more than to God? It doesn't make sense. Yeah. So yep, so that's it, and that's what I have to say for now concerning religious narcissism and religious narcissist. So yeah, okay, have a good one. Thank you. Bye bye.